Here's why I think Trump is losing and we should pay attention to his failure. Yeah. They got a good blow with the Supreme Court. But here's the thing I want you to understand. Well, maybe they blew the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Basically, I think what's happening, and this is coming from Darren, downtown Chicago. I'm trying to break it down to y'all. I think that they got a problem, and it's a big one. And I think the greatest problem they're dealing with right now is they are dealing with an overwhelm of abundance. Whoa, Darren, what are you talking about? Listen to me. Hear me out, good old Darren. Hear me out. And you definitely want to get in my clarity group. The description's in the video. Definitely go to the homepage. Join me now because I'm getting ready to blow up this week with more content than I've ever done back there. I'm getting ready to lose my freaking mind. I'm going to be posting like nuts. By the way, speaking of posting like nuts, I'm going to be posting like nuts now to the end of this month, June. So expect a lot of videos between now and Monday the 30th, the end of June. I'm going to be posting around the clock. A lot, okay? So let me go into it. Let me break this off to you. The reason I think that he's in big trouble is the same reason you see a lot of those superhero villain people who, the villains of superhero, they destroyed themselves with their own power. Between his grifting and the overwhelming amount of deportations, it's going to bite them. It's going to bite them back in the butt. And on top of that, I think what's going to happen is there's going to be some serious blowback. You cannot take over the people over and over. The only thing we got to watch out for with Donald Trump, the only thing is narrative warfare. I have a live coming up with my clarity group on Tuesday. Narrative warfare. What are we talking about? How you psychologically fucks with your head. Basically, let me break it down like this. I can't go too deep because, again, social media, I don't know if because they're in bed with Trump or what, they don't allow me to say this. Even my new Diamond membership thing, they put some restraints on that because I got real raw with it. And it wasn't like I was cussing like a sailor or nothing. It was just I was telling them some real stuff inside a game about the Democratic Party and some other things. So I think my best bet is going forward with clarity. I'm gonna still make some Diamond Clarity stuff, y'all, but I best put that out there. Here's the deal. With Trump specifically, he believes that he's won. And he's dealing with a narrative warfare that makes people think that he's won. Here's an example of that. And that's why I tell people get in my clarity group, because they think nothing's happening while Trump is doing something. Are you one of those people? You think nothing's happening while Trump's doing something? Why isn't anything happening? In fact, I'll make that my next video. Why is no one doing nothing when Trump is taking over? They are. For the last 23 weeks, let me call it out for you. For the last 23 weeks, we have had people out of the judicial branch, lower courts, and even some of the Supreme Court that was ruling in their favor. That's why I think that Friday was such a disappointment, because there was a good chance that we could have won that one. But here's the thing. The lower courts have been whipping his assets. That's why he went after trying to kill injunctions, national injunctions, because his score is like 13 and 97. So out of, 110 court dates, he's lost 97 of them. He's been getting his ass kicked. On top of that, it's gotten interesting because when you look at the amount of work it would take to deport 500,000 people, they don't have it. They ain't got the numbers. And that's why they're trying to pass that great big bill to give ICE billions of dollars. And that's why there's a lot of back and forth. Before this Supreme Court hearing, I was very confident that they would, the judicial branch would stand up for us with the horribleness of this big, beautiful bill. But after seeing how they cut their own powers on Friday, it's looking bad. It's looking bad. But the good news is that the worse it gets, the better it gets, because I told you 3 weeks ago, and from 3 weeks on, for the last pretty much month, I said it's got to get worse before it gets better. And it will get worse. And it will get better. I think there's things that are on the works right now that we don't see coming in general, but it's on the way. And for people who say, again, there's nothing happening, let me assure you there has been something happening over the last 23 weeks. Not only has the judicial branch, like I just said, been fighting, but we also had 23 states, almost half the union, including great state of Illinois, Chicago out here. We've been fighting from the governor's office, from the attorney general's office, and we're fighting, protesting in the streets. And he was nervous about that. So let's go into narrative warfare for a minute as I break this down to you. Narrative warfare is when he goes in and makes a crisis up. See, it's Sunday right now as I record this, and he's going to make a crisis. Sunday, Monday, no later than Tuesday. Then he makes one for the weekend. Basically, the crisis was Iran. He was attacking Iran, doing whatever he can do to attack Iran. This past weekend, it was Iran, and of course, he was Mamdani, and he was also attacking. He was also attacking the senators who were fighting back against the big beautiful bill. But let me tell you, his masterclass in June was in Iran bombing. Do you know what that was really about? That was about him taking attention away from June 14th, his birthday, no King's Day. We had 2,000 events, 20 million people. People were out there in the streets, y'all, out in the streets fighting. Facts. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is that they're still fighting. And he knew that there was a lot of headlines that were going to go into the week with that. And all of a sudden, he drops out of G7 because he's looking bumbleish and foolish. And he decided he's going to make this manufactured crisis of Iran to bomb them. And that made headlines over everything for the following 10 days. And diminished the momentum we had as a group. But we still got July 4th. We still have movement forward. The movement keeps on moving, just like it did in 2020. We got great opportunities to do this. I will encourage you to do what you feel is best, meaning you can get on indivisible.org. Big shout out to Leah and Ezra. Get on Indivisible, chill out, take it easy, light a candle, all right? Take it easy. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We're going to make it through this. It's got to get worse before it gets better. But I am optimistic towards his failure. And he's going to pull down. He can't win because it's tyranny on the time clock. But I do say, like I said before this weekend, be prepared for a crisis. One of which is, yes, a passport. That doesn't mean you leave, but that does mean you just get ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready.